What is up, you guys? Today we're actually front row of the Costco in the handicap parking spot filming this video because short story time, I guess. I'm with my grandpa and then my uncle showed up and I'm not a fan of him, and I was supposed to babysit my grandpa and he was here, so I was like, fuck that, I'm not hanging out with him. So I was like, you can babysit grandpa in Costco, I'm staying in the fucking car because I don't want to be miserable with someone I don't like. So now I'm miserable by myself because my grandpa didn't leave the key. And it's freaking hot as balls in this car right now. I'm getting a freaking tan. But I just someone is typing on Snapchat, so life is good. And I'm talking to myself front row, so people are watching me. So I'm like peak human right now, life maxing. But you know, today I wanted to talk about the idea of being miserable. And is it better to be miserable alone or with people? And I think when you think of misery, you think of like, not Icarus who fell from the sky, you know, but you think of the guy who was pushing up that boulder. I forget his name, sorry. I think Icarus is an example of being lonely alone, but in triumph. Because I think people don't realize how fun being miserable is at times. Like for me, example, when I'm sad, I listen to happy music. And when I'm happy, I listen to sad music. Just so I can stimulate my mind in a weird sense that no matter what happens, I'm always like at an equilibrium if I'm happy or if I'm sad. It's like the perfect match of misery. And I think being miserable in a group is honestly worse because it's like at a funeral, you know, everyone is sad. Like funerals are no fun. Like, yeah, you get to see people, you get to see the family, but it's like not for a good reason, you know? And like the same can be said for a wedding, you know? You're going to a wedding, you're also kind of miserable at a wedding, but in a happy way with a lot of people. Like everyone's there to celebrate. But it's like you have to sit in that suit, probably in the hot sun for a while, and low-key, you don't like the girl your buddy's marrying, or vice versa. Family's low-key a dick, the friends are weird, maybe. You had to buy a way too expensive wedding gift when you already had to buy a hotel, drive down, do all this effort. Like, I get it. So there's misery in everything, I feel like. But should you do it alone or with people? And I say alone. Because right now, I'm being miserable in the car alone instead of being miserable inside Costco. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my grandpa. Great guy. Terrible person at the same time. He likes to talk to random strangers and bother them to the point where we're like, okay, thank you, sir, have a good day. And he'll still try to talk to them, like no social cues. He just throws up everywhere. He's kind of rude, low-key racist. Great guy, though, you know. Pays for me when we go to the movies, and he paid for my lunch today, so I'm very grateful for that. But it's like, why would I want to be in Costco with him when I can be in here? And don't get me wrong, I'm miserable right now. It's hot as crap. But I feel like it's misery in a sense of growth, where like, yeah, this sucks, but I'm doing something productive and making myself better because of it. And, you know, maybe I'm a bad grandson for being selfish, but you know what? My grandpa's probably the most selfish person I've ever met in my life. So maybe it's a little bit of irony for him and my uncle who have to deal with each other. Two peas in a pod. It's like two people you don't want to be around together. And I think that's what real misery is finding growth in it. You know, misery isn't a mistake. Misery is universal torment that was meant to be poetic. You know, that's true misery. It's like dating the right girl at the wrong time, you know. You're low-key miserable, but you can learn from it. And, you know, you can think back of it like, damn, man, I really wish I was there, but I was miserable. But man, that was fun. That's what misery is. It's this perfect little limelight where you're not terribly sad, but you're not really happy either. But you're definitely not at equilibrium. You're definitely tilting negative. But because it's like a cedar solder, because you're miserable, as soon as that misery is over or you triumph and evolve from it, you flip directly to a positive. And I'm talking like a sharp positive. Like your life is so much freaking better now because it's seesawed, English please, seesawed to a positive. And that's why I think you should welcome misery. You should welcome uncomfortability, you know, those uncomfortable situations. Like a car that's probably like 90 degrees right now. Like if I was a puppy right now, people would be breaking the freaking windows if I was a baby. But because I'm an adult talking to myself on the phone, it's normal, and they hope I freaking die of heat exhaustion, you know? So that's misery. And I think you should embrace it. Like, you should want to be a little miserable in life. You know, it might sound crazy. Like, I'm seeing people drive around here. This guy's waiting for a parking spot. Like, you know how miserable it is, that weird, awkward patience of waiting for the spot to open because you see the person's in the car and they're like low-key taking forever. You know, they put all their groceries in. They put their phone, they're on their phone or something. It's like, okay, it's been like 3 minutes. Should I have just waited for another spot and be miserable? But you know what? You be miserable and then you get that prime parking spot. Like, that is life. Costco is literally an analogy for life in all of the worst ways. And so with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this short video. I didn't post yesterday. I broke my streak, but I was tired. I went to the beach. I had a great freaking day. And so because of that, I'm miserable right now. So guys, go out there, be miserable in your own way, and climb back up from it.